Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you guys can see very much in the frame, I'm talking about all things Cartier here, and my idea of my perfect stack. I'm going to be discussing and talking about the wear and tear on these bangles, how I have been enjoying them, how they have fared over the past couple of months of wearing them. So a little bit of a backstory. I do have a video on my channel talking about my experience at Cartier and just pretty much discussing what my overall experience was and my initial thoughts on the bangles. So this was about 5 months ago, and now 5 months later, I do believe that I have a little bit of an opinion on them, being that I have been wearing them every day for the past 5 months. Haven't taken them off. There has been a few changes, or there have been a few changes from my first video. The two changes are actually these two bangles here, like so. On my first video, I had the small love and the Just and CLOU, but a few months ago, I added this diamond bangle from a local jewelry store that I added to my stack, and I got this as a gift. This was about, I think this was my Valentine's Day gift, and this is the 6 diamond small love bracelet, and it has just, in my opinion, this is the definition of a perfect stack. I gifted this to myself for my birthday. Like, I don't know if I mentioned that on my first video, and the small love was also a gift to me. All of the bracelets have been very significant. So today I just want to talk about the wear and tear of the bangles, how I have felt, wearing them from the moment they weren't on my wrists up until now. So a little bit on wear and tear. Honestly, if you do not care about scratches, this is the bracelet for you. This is the bangle for you. If you're someone who's very meticulous and you're like concerned about your bangle scratching or your bracelet scratching, this is not for you, okay? The Just and CLOU, I would say, has no visible scratches, and I would just say that is only due to the fact that it is a rounded, bangle. You can't really tell the scratches or see any scratches. However, when it comes to my loves, let me try and see if it's gonna actually focus. Golly, is it focusing? Okay, if you guys can tell, it definitely has scratches, okay? It definitely has scratches. That's not something that you're going to be able to avoid. So this bracelet is going to scratch, especially the loves. You're going to see, because it's more of a flat surface, you're going to see a lot of wear and tear. Does it bother me? No. I personally just feel like it, adds to the character of the bracelets. I'm sure you have heard this multiple times, people talking about character, right? But however, I feel like it is true. When it's, when it first scratched, I can't remember my first scratch. I was just like, oh my goodness, what? But I quickly just got used to it. In fact, I'm like, you know what? Just scratch, just so that I don't have to like keep babying it or worrying about what it looks like scratched or whatever. Majority of the scratches or the bad things are to the bottom, because I do type whenever I work, and like I said, I do not take them off. I'm not one who takes jewelry off. As you can see, I have neck pieces on, and I actually stack bracelet jewelry on my neck as well, so these actually stay on here. However, this bangle, I added this about, I would say, about a month ago to my stack. It was purchased from a local jewelry store. I was thinking about adding a tennis bracelet. However, I didn't want anything too wide. I didn't want anything too like really big, because I wanted it to still be very, understated and really just dainty looking. Because I have a few pieces here, I wanted, and because I got the 6 diamond love as a gift. Whenever both of them pretty much just sat on each other, it just looked like one bangle. Let me take this. So this is what it looks like, without this bracelet. This is just a 14 karat with diamond encrusted bracelets on there. It was pretty affordable because I was not about to go buy a bangle from Cartier when I could get a nice cute 14 karat gold bracelet for a more affordable price. It was kind of difficult for me to find the perfect bangle to stack with this piece, but when I did find it, I jumped on it. Okay, so this is what they looked like initially whenever I was wearing them together. And I just felt like wearing these two on each other, they just looked like one bracelet. So it just looked like I had the regular love and the small Justin CLOU whenever I would wear it this way. And I just felt like I would like to break, I wanted to just break up just the goldness of it. I don't know how to explain it. And I decided to just go ahead and add this. And this was just a nice, fun addition to the collection. So me adding actually the bangle was just a nice, fun addition to my stack. And honestly, this is, I would say, the perfect everyday stack. So yes, it does scratch a lot, okay? If after 5 months I have this many scratches, you can only imagine what it's going to look like a year from now. I was concerned about, polishing the bracelets or polishing the bangles, and just thinking it was gonna like become dull over time. But because I shower with it, honestly, whenever I do shower with it and I get out the shower, it's back shining, like looking really nice and just popping. The Justin CLOU, however, I have noticed that whenever I'm wearing like maybe like knit fabric or like knit material outfits, maybe like cardigans, sweaters, the nail actually does get caught in some items. It has gotten caught in my hair. It's gotten caught in, my kids' hair and stuff like that. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I would say look out or watch out for that. If you're someone who just doesn't want to really worry about anything being like cut into stuff, this has happened. I can count, on one hand. It's not something that's happened frequently. However, I would just say that's something to consider when purchasing the Justin CLOU. So you can decide to take off the Justin CLOU, and just wear the love if you have just the love or whatever, the case is. I have been wearing this every day as well. It's been on my hand. Of course, it's not as secure as the love bracelets because those ones cannot come off at all without using the screws to unscrew them. But I have not had any issues actually wearing. The one I was actually concerned about wearing 24/7 was the Justin CLOU, but I have not had any issues with wearing it 24/7. It doesn't bother me at night. I even feel like the ones that actually bother me, or the one that bothers me, is probably the bangle. And that just really speaks to the craftsmanship of Cartier and how well they designed the shape of the bangle just to really just be comfortable on the wrist. I know I mentioned that, the sales associate who advised me to get the size 17s mentioned that it would get warmer in the months, and if you do have plans to stack, it's better for you to do a looser fit. Best advice ever. Best advice ever. If there's anything I would like to add again, is that make sure you don't get something too snug, because you would end up regretting it. I know that a lot of people are like, you know what, I don't want to stack, I don't want to do any of that. However, you never know. You never know. What if in a few years you decide to add another piece, you want to make sure that it's not just like snug and you're stacking other pieces here and this is just like real tight right there, right? Or it's tight at this point, and if you're stacking, it's just like really awkward looking. So this has been a really, really, really perfect stack, and I feel like this is like a perfect, you know, everyday stack, but still has like a super hint of, you know, sparkle. I noticed that whenever I added this tennis bangle as well to my what's it called, to my stack, it definitely popped the diamonds on the 6 diamond love. It just made it like, it just accentuated it even more and highlighted it even more. So that is just really gorgeous, and that's really all I have to say about this. It's no regrets whatsoever. Cost per wear, if you're considering getting, you know, the Cartier bracelets, I would say because you're wearing it every day, okay, you would definitely get your money's worth. All right. What polishing it, I don't think I'm going to be polishing it anytime soon, because yes, it does have scratches, okay? It does have a bunch of scratches. I'm sure you can see it very much so. But it's still as shiny as can be. It's still as bright as can be. It still pops. Just looking at it right here is just, yeah, it is beautiful. It is. So I don't know if I mentioned, the bangle that I actually have is in yellow gold. I'm sure you can tell the difference between, you can see how thin it is compared to the small love, because I do have the small loves, and it still matches nicely, because most of the part that's showing is just, you know, at the front right here. Behind it, you can tell the difference between the metals and the colors, but I love it so much. I actually tried the white gold. I know people do stack, you know, the different white gold, yellow gold, and the rose gold, but I just feel like the rose gold really complements my skin better. And I actually considered getting the bangle in the diamond bangle in rose gold, but I couldn't get it in rose gold. But I really wasn't too worried about actually adding this yellow gold to this, because it didn't make too much of a difference. So yeah, another thing about stacking the Just and CLOU and the Love, one thing to note, if you're going to ever stack the Just and CLOU and the Love bracelet, make sure that the nail head, or the bottom of the nail is actually sitting against the Love bracelet, because if you wear it the other way, I have noticed that it does get, if you ever wear it this way, which actually I would say might look aesthetically pleasing this way, because this just, you know, aligns perfectly with this. But you notice that if you do that, every time I do that, the nail actually ends up like, you know, going over and ends up scratching the bracelet even more, and it gets tangled. Sometimes I wake up and it's like twisted around the other bracelets, which is gives me some anxiety with like potentially stretching it out and stuff like that. I know that that's probably never going to be an issue, but I rather just, whenever I wear it like this, it definitely just like twists up with my other bracelets. So I always make sure that this portion of the bracelets actually sits against my Love bracelets, like so. So it always is like this. This way, there's never any like overlapping. It kind of just acts like as a shield, just to protect this from like going underneath the other bracelets and like tangling up. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Have I been enjoying it? Yes, no issues whatsoever. It has not what's it called, been anything uncomfortable at all. I enjoy wearing it on a day-to-day basis. I have worn it every day for the past 5 months, and I have nothing bad to say about these pieces, okay? The only one that I actually have some beef with is this, my diamond bangle, and that's because it pops open super easily. So I want to take it back into the store to see what I can do, because I would hate for it, because I was doing some house chores, and I noticed, I just saw it on the floor and I'm like, what the heck, why is it on the floor? So that was the only thing that was concerning. However, with these bangles, that would never be an issue because these are like, you know, not going anywhere, okay, because they're screwed on, right? However, this one is one of those ones where you just like, you know, latch on and it just connects like so, opens up. But I don't know why, but it's just not as secure as I would like for it to be. So I'm going to take it back into the store and see what they can do for me to just help fasten it better and make sure that it's not like, you know, easy to pop open and pop, you know, just open easily, because I don't want to lose this. Okay, so that pretty much sums up my little review on these items. If you guys have any questions whatsoever about these pieces, please let me know in the comment section down below and I'll be sure to answer them. I don't believe I mentioned this. If you want to have like a full detailed review on these on the Love and the Justin CLOU, I would link my initial video on these bangles for you to go take a look at and watch. However, if you still have additional questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but my Love bracelets are in size 17 and my Justin CLOU is in the size 16. So that is what they look like. So, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell below to just notify you once I upload videos. I mostly talk about handbags. However, I do all things, you know, luxury pieces and those kind of conversations here. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you so much once again, and see you in my next video. Bye.